Hello, hello. Been on a bit of a hiatus here on the PITA Joe podcast. Been working my ass off a lot. Need a little break from the whole podcast thing to get my head straight. Yes. So recently, I posted on my Facebook page. I asked you listeners and fans to send me some questions that you want me to answer, or some subjects or topics that you want me to talk about. I made a list. I got 12 questions here. I'm live now, so you guys could hop on and ask other questions if you'd like. So I'm going to start with the first fucking question here. There's some little crazy ones here. First question. I kept all the people that sent me either through PMs or comments. I'm just going to keep them anonymous. So here we go. First one. If you could choose between money and love, what would you choose? This depends on the type of love. Like the love for my kids, I will always choose that over money. The love for another chick, not so much. I'd rather the money. Well, depends on what the amount of money we're talking about. But if we're talking millions of dollars, give me the money. But when it comes to the love of my kids, money doesn't mean shit. The love of your kids means way more than money. So that's my answer for that one. I think that's one of those where you have to ask: is it love for a family or kids, or is it love for a significant other? So yeah. If you could go back and change the past mistakes you made, or would you rather just plan for a better future? Oh, that's a tough one. Let me take a drink on this one. Uh Man, that one's really stumping me here. I'm just going off the top of my head here. I think planning for a better future is what I've been trying to do, so I'm going to go with that one. Of course, we all have past mistakes. A lot of mine were in my marriage, my relationship. Of course, I would want to change those, but I'd rather just, since that happened, it's over with. I would rather just plan for a better future. That's why I started to get into podcasting. I've already talked about this on previous episodes. But yeah, I want to plan for a better future. I want to start eventually, once I everything picks up and I'm making a steady income and have money I can put to the side. I want to start saving up for my kids' future, for college for them, just the savings in general. So yeah, planning is a big fucking thing that I've always just kind of pushed to the side. I waited too long. Now I have to play catch up. But it's a motivation, and yeah, I'm gonna start planning better for my future. Oh god, the next one. This one's definitely different from the first two. What is the average time sex should last? I love these sex questions. Uh, Man, the average time. I just go by the rule of thumb. Both should be satisfied by the end of it, and that the time thing doesn't matter there. Go for satisfaction. Fuck the time. If it's 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 5 hours, more power to you. If you're having sex for 5 hours straight, more power to you. You're gonna be hurting the next day though. Both sides. So yeah, just go till you're both fucking happy. Yeah. So that was my answer for what is the average sex time? What is the average sex time and how long should it last? Yeah. To me it's debatable. It's up in the air. It could be any. Sunset or sunrise? Oh, both are beautiful. Um, I think I prefer sunrise because it's the start of a new day. Sunset's kind of depressing because nighttime for most people, like the dark, is just depressing. So yeah, I definitely think sunrise. It's a happier, it's more optimistic. Um, Especially if you're an early morning person, which I'm not really, but I'm usually up with my kids for school. So I've watched the sunrise quite a few times in the past year, 6 months now. Yeah, so sunrise, definitely. This is a good one. I really like this one. This is from a good friend of mine. How come women are obsessed with serial killer documentaries more than men? even though there are way more male serial killers. I actually heard the last podcast on the left talk about this. They basically said, which I looked it up and it's true, it's like 70% of women, or 70% of true crime podcast listeners are women. Um, the reason I think is why is because girls like drama. They like stuff they could gossip about. Yeah, it's dark, obviously, but it also, women can learn from true crime cases. They know what to look out for, like for instance Bundy. They know to look out for like a super good looking dude who's just acting shady. I think them listening to podcasts about true crime, like I said, it helps protect them. It teaches them the what to stay away from, uh, teaches them safety and to travel in groups. So yeah, I think that's why. I still find it fucking gnarly that women take up 70% of the listening for true crime. That's crazy. I would have thought more of a 50-50 than anything. So yeah, I think that's why. I hope that answers the question for you. I don't know the actual reason, but either way. Got another sex question. Does size matter? I don't think they're talking about shoes. I think they're talking about. Um, this is one of those questions. There's two answers. There's a yes and a no, because you can't be there with your little tiny chode expecting to make women go nuts over your 2-inch long, 2-inch thick penis. I think you need a little bigger than that. But there is a but. It's all on how you use it. I will equate it to baseball for a second here. Stay with me here. All right. So say you have like a guy like Barry Bonds. He's loaded up on steroids, big motherfucker, and all he does is ground out. He doesn't hit home runs, ground out, strike out. What good's that going to do you? So you could have a big old wang, and if you can't work it, what is the point? You know, I think I'm talking from a guy's perspective. If any ladies want to correct me on this, I'm sure size does matter, like I said, to a point. But for the most part, I think it's how you work it. I got a longtime buddy of mine asked me this one. I figured I'd fucking put it in. I know he's joking around. Well, who knows if he's joking around, but I thought it was hysterical. Do you, me, PITA Joe, still secretly like men? No, I don't. I don't. I think it would be an easier life to be gay. I think that sometimes. I think dating would be easier if I were gay. Have I ever, other than Brad Pitt, thought, man, that dude's attractive? Oh, man. No, I've never really done that. Maybe Brad Pitt because he's one of a kind. Nobody else, though. So, am I secretly gay? If you want me to be, in your mind, then I'm secretly gay. But the answer is no. Okay, this is an interesting one. Um, Somebody asked me about the cost of cars. What do you think is the main difference in price? Like why are cars so much more expensive now? Um, this person also said that classic cars were better cars. I agree with the classic cars were better made cars. Um, not as far as like safety, they weren't. Cars are really safe nowadays, but the price, man, it just went up with inflation. All the parts cost more. We're getting them out of the country a lot more than we were before, so you have to pay extra for the shipping and the expediting. But it's crazy. What we talking like? At least in the past 6 months to a year, vehicles have shot up in price like almost double. Like junkers used to be $500 and they would still run 500 to 1,000. Now a junker will cost you $3,000 like minimum, and that's just like a big piece of shit that barely runs. You talk about new cars. I mean, when the Ford Bronco released 2 years ago, it was going for 56,000 fully loaded or something like that, maybe 60 tops. Now, if you go on Marketplace and look for one on like a 2023, 24 Ford Bronco fully loaded, you're looking at like $96,000 to $100,000. Like it's unreal. But yeah, that's just been the fucking that's inflation. We're we're sucked into it. It's never going to go back down in price, in my opinion. Same with gas. Same with housing. Everything went up. It's probably not going back down unless some miracle happens. Maybe going to war helps it, but I think that was more about World War II and the old wars than a current war. I don't think a current war is really going to inflate our economy as much as it used to. So I still think cars are going to stay the same price, or if not, go up more. Man, it's tough out there. Yeah, that's my answer for that. I love that question. That had me thinking a lot. Let's go to the next one. Is monogamy attainable for the younger generations? Ooh, another one. You guys are giving me some tough ones. Um, hmm, is it? I don't know if it is. The only the only reason I'll say it's. I mean, this obviously it's different for each person and each relationship, but I think it's attainable. It's not as attainable as it was in when I was younger, like the '90s, 2000, early 2000s. Now with social media everywhere, there's all the dating sites. If let's just say hypothetically, a husband or wife or boyfriend and girlfriend aren't happy with each other, they could find somebody like that. Snap of the finger. They could hop on any of these social media platforms, PM a dude or PM a girl. They could easily be hooking up the next day. I'm not saying this happens all the time, but come on, people, we're not fucking stupid. It happens a lot. Monogamy is, I'm not going to say it's dead because I don't want to sound like a buzzkill, but it's as close to extinct as you can get, in my opinion, at least for now. As long as social media um, keeps existing in our most of our everyday life. Yeah, it's a shame, honestly. Um, I wish because I believe in love. I've been in love. I'll probably never fall back in love again. You know, the only love I want now is with my kids, and that's all that matters right now. But yeah, I don't think it's monogamy is very common nowadays. I mean, sadly. But that it could be an easy fix. Like I said, it depends on the person, the couple. All right. I like this one. This is the social media question. I mean, this kind of fits in with the last one. How much time do I spend on my phone, my computer, or social media? Uh, I'll start from the beginning with phone. Um, I use my phone for my social media, so I'm on it a good amount, mainly for social media. Being a podcaster, I have to go out there and promote my podcast like it's crack cocaine. I have to post, repost, create pictures, create captions. So I'm on it a lot. But I feel like I have a reason. But there's also times where I just fuck around on there. Like um, one of my friends invited me to a Facebook group. It's called Photoshop. So it's like Photoshop for dummies or something. I can't remember the exact name. I'll look it up now. They sent me an invite for this Photoshop group, and I fucking love it. It's really cool. It's really funny. It's called Photoshop Help Edits and Requests. But you get these fucking ridiculous pictures, and people just like add the most ridiculous off the wall shit to the pictures, and it's hysterical. So I've been spending too much time looking at some of those because they're really funny, and I love to laugh. I love comedy. But yeah, other than that, when I'm on my phone, it's usually promoting my podcast or writing in my notes, the little notes app on my Apple iPhone. I love that fucking app. If you don't have it and you're a creative person, download it for free. It's just called Notes. Uh, Makes a world of difference. If you're thinking something and you're not around a piece of paper to write it down, write it right in your phone. Really easy. That's where all of my episodes have come to life. I write the idea in there. I did that with my script. It's amazing. As far as the amount of time I spend on my computer, mm, just for Google Docs, for if I'm writing bullet points for an episode or if I'm being a featured guest on an episode, just to do my bullet points. That's really all I use my laptop for, and to record and to edit. So, I mean, if I'm not working, I'm on social media a lot. I'm on my phone and my computer a lot. So, to answer your question, but I feel like I have to be for this whole podcasting gig. And we'll get to the last question that I have right now. I was hoping some people would hop on live and ask me some shit. Monica Perez, if you want to ask any questions, I'll answer any question. I'm on my last question right now, but send a question, I'll answer it for you. All right, last question. How often do you sit down for a family meal? Well, when everything was good with my ex-wife and we were a full-time family, we would sit down as often as we could. I think it's very important at the end of the day, after school, after work, to sit down as a family and just try to talk about your day. But a lot of the times we'd put a movie on or something because the dining room is facing the TV, like it's a very open floor plan at my house. So a lot of times we would just sit there and watch something that we like together too. I think both are important, to talk or to just watch something you enjoy together. It's relaxing. It's a good way to blow off steam. Good way to talk about your day. Good way to laugh a little bit with your family, laugh with your kids, make some jokes. I I loved it. And now that um, me and the ex-wife we split our kids evenly, I enjoy it just as much because that's my time with my kids, and they're enjoying my fresh home cooked meal. It's a good time. I love it. Um, what else? Let's see if there's any questions that were on my page that I missed. Let me go back here for a second. Sorry, bear with me here. I'm going to my site. I want to see if I missed anything here. Um, I know some of them were PM questions. Oh, here we go. Somebody asked this one too. I forgot to add it to my bullet points. What are the strangest non-negotiables you have when dating someone? Oh, this is a really good one. I love this one. Um, I'm definitely not a dating expert, but my non-negotiables are: I don't want to date a smoker, a cigarette smoker. I'll fix that. I don't want to date a cigarette smoker. To me, that is the nastiest fucking smell. I don't want to kiss an ashtray. The old cliche, don't want to kiss an ashtray. That just makes your teeth yellow. Yeah, not down with that. I'm a big hygiene guy. I don't want some chick, or chicks don't want guys that have bad breath. They don't want them to smell like cigarettes. I don't want that either. So that's one of my non-negotiables. Um, Let me think for another one. Uh, See, I'm to a fault. I'm sure my ex could speak on this. I don't trust easy. It's my own fault. It was my past relationships that did that. Without getting too far into it, I don't want to date or be serious with a girl who's always talking to other guys all the time. Like, it's one thing if like it's family or a really close friend who has no attraction or anything. But if I'm just sitting, like we're hanging out and you're just messaging all these guys, like I don't know, whatever. Call me whatever you want. I just don't care for it. That's one of my non-negotiables. Um, Lying. I fucking hate liars. Yeah, nothing worse than a liar, because I'm pretty good at telling when somebody's lying. I've always been good at that. So yeah, I guess that would be my three non-negotiables. I'm sure if I sit down, I could probably think of more. But I'm out of the dating game for a long time. Just letting you know. I am focusing on my kids, my job, my podcasting. I'll focus on everything else but dating. I do not want to date for a long time. Um, it's not worth it to me. It's a waste of time right now for me. I'm not going to accomplish anything doing it. It's just going to hold me back more. I just want to focus on my kids, give them everything they need, and that's it. I do want to make more friends. I've already made some new friends, so I'm working on that. But man, yeah, I'll talk more about the recent hiatus I went on. It wasn't a big hiatus; it was probably like 4 days. I didn't really write anything for my podcast. I just kind of sat back, worked a lot too. I did 3 doubles in the last 4 days, so I've been putting in a lot of work at my job. And usually when I get home, I let the dog out and fold some clothes, maybe watch something, and then I'll try to fall asleep. I'm still having a little sleeping problems. Like I'll wake up 2 to 3 times a night. I don't know how to fix that. I think I just drink too much water, so my dick wakes me up and it's like, piss, piss, come on, go piss. Shh, wake up, go piss. So yeah, I have to get up all the time with that. That really disrupts my sleep. But yeah, I needed a hiatus just to clear my mind. I was going through, like we talked about before, a lot of mental health problems. I have this thing where I get in my head, like I'll be having a good day, and just one little stupid thing will kind of set me back. And then in my mind, I'll say, all right, spend an hour writing your podcast, spend an hour coming up with a topic, spend 20 minutes writing a couple bullet points. And then what do? I don't follow through. This is just more recently. I was on a roll before that. So I'm trying to get back into the groove. It's not easy once you stop and start again. It's kind of like equated to going to the gym. You could go for a week straight, get through the soreness, and then you take 2 weeks off and you can't get back into it. Like you have to have, with everything in your life, you have to have a clear plan, a clear schedule. You really have to man up and get through the shit. Like, I know it's hard. I'm not the only one who feels this way. You have to literally break through every wall that you put up on your own. You have to gather up enough courage just to bust through your negativity wall. Like, it's with someone who has experienced depression before, we know how hard it is to actually break through that wall, because we put up a really strong fucking wall. We build that shit with metal and iron instead of bricks, so it's hard to break through. But I'm here to talk about this shit. I love talking about mental health. Ever since my life started changing a couple months ago, I had to change a lot in my life. I had to change myself. I had to be more persistent with going to work and saying to myself, you're doing this many hours. If you don't, you're an asshole. I had to go through all that. I also started podcasting because I said that this will help me distress. This will help me talk about everything. So I started that. I was knocking it out of the park for the first month and a half. And then this past week, I've just been like stuck in quicksand creatively. I've been stuck in quicksand. And now I'm finally getting out of it. I did it tonight. I said, I'm going to sit down. I'm going to write these questions that people ask me down. I didn't write any answers. I'm basically just going off the cuff, going off the top of my head. And I want to do this weekly. I think this is going to be a fun thing to do. As long as I get enough questions from you guys, you could literally ask me any question. I'm the most honest person you could meet or that you'll hear talk, because I just love, I don't know, I just love being honest. There's not a better feeling than being honest, because then you're not sitting there, you're not sugarcoating, you're not stressing yourself out, worrying, oh, well, if I say this, what are people going to think? I don't give a fuck about that. We were given the freedom of speech. That's what being an American supposedly is. I don't want to get into details with that because I could go all night with the fucking political shit. Um, we have freedom of speech. You know what I'm sick of? I'm sick of seeing people get canceled because they said something 15 years ago that somebody now doesn't agree with. I'm really sick of that shit. It's stupid. The whole cancel culture. I mean, you could cancel things if they're super bad, like Jared from Subway. The shit he did, he should have been canceled. All right, he deserves to be in jail. He deserves to be canceled. But if a fucking 13-year-old kid who is now an athlete, if he said something when he was 13 and now he's 22, he's about to get drafted into the NFL or whatever, okay? That's just an example. You cannot use something he said 9 years ago when he was basically a teenager, the beginning of being a teenager. You can't use that against a person. I know we're all like, oh, all these Karens out there, fucking stop it. Like, people could talk about what they want to talk about. If they're not hurting anybody, what is the crime? Like, seriously, what is the crime? Sorry, I'm going off on a tangent, but this is what I do. Jeez, I lost where I was last time. What was I talking about before I started that spiel? I don't even know. I guess I'm getting old with this shit. I'll type it in, but yeah, seriously, if anybody's listening, I see there's at least 3 people listening. Ask me a question. If you want to hop in and talk, you could hop in and talk. I'll send you the invite. Let me share my stream again so the people that didn't see it can see it again. So as far as the stuff that I'm gonna be working on the next, I'm hoping to record 2 to 3 episodes this week. I already have one written down with all my bullet points, so I'll be doing that. That one is my top 5 most anticipated video games. I'm gonna do something with that. I am by the end of. I also wrote a review for Old Dads. It's a comedy on Netflix with Bill Burr, a famous stand-up comedian. I'm going to be recording my review on that. I just did a podcast with the Film Bros podcast about a review for Loki season 2. That was a lot of fun. I think they're releasing it. I want to say December 3rd, they said. I think it'll be released on their channel, which is Film Bros podcast. You could find it on Spotify. These guys are great. 2 brothers that do it. They're really good with the entertainment news, the movie reviews, the TV reviews. They talk about a lot of comic book stuff, a lot of comic book movies, DC and Marvel. They'll talk about The Boys. I mean, these guys know their shit. So yeah, I did an episode with them, and that was a blast. We've recorded 3 episodes together so far, 2 on their show, 1 on mine. On mine, we did a 4-part series about our top 10 video games of all time. It's another great episode. Check it out on my PITA Joe podcast channel. So yeah, I got that going on. That'll be released by them, I think December 3rd, they said. I could be wrong. It's coming soon. I also am in the middle of watching the whole Conjuring film series. So correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's all the Conjuring movies on top of the Annabelle movies and the Nun movies. And I think Insidious is the same world. I'm not 100% on that. So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to rank all those James Wan movies, which is kind of cool. I heard that the Conjuring universe is kind of like the Marvel universe. They all, excuse me, Ooh, that was nasty. All right. I think the James Wan horror franchise, the Conjuring franchise, is kind of like the Marvel MCU, which is kind of cool. So that's why I want to watch all of them and review them and rank them. So I'll be doing that probably next week for that one because I still have to watch a bunch of them, but I plan on it. Trying to do this one's going to take a little while because I haven't really worked on it yet. I talked to a few people about it already. I want to set up a like one of those dating shows on my podcast channel where I want to set up two blind dates on the same episode. So a woman with a man, a woman with a man. I want to have them go on dates after that episode. So it's going to be like a blind date setup for the first episode, like the old dating shows, like have them ask each other questions. They don't know what each other looks like. Have them ask like pre-date questions. Then I'm going to have them go on a date. We will get back to them maybe 2 weeks later after the date, see how it went, and just experiment with that. I think it'd be funny. Do some like corny '80s music, and I'll be the host. I'll just use my corny ass fucking hosting voice. I think it'd be a lot of fun. I already got people that are interested in it. I have to choose the four people, and if it's a success, I'll do it again. I'm all about trying new things. I want to experiment with podcasting. I don't want it to be the same old lame podcast episodes every time. I started this because I wanted to make the podcast about everything. I don't want it to just be about movies and that's it. I want it to be about everything. So yeah, I'm not seeing any more questions. So I want to keep going, but if I don't have questions, I'm not going to make them up in my own head. So this was a fun episode. I'm glad I could hop on live and answer these questions. For whoever sent me the questions, I hope you enjoy my answers. I hope they satisfied you. Yeah. All right. Catch you on the flip side. Be coming out with new episodes soon. Stay positive. Stay hopeful. Stay positively hopeful. Thank you for listening to the PITA JOE podcast. Good night.